2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage EAP, décollage. La propulsion est nominale.
There she goes, hauling herself against the gravity of our planet.
La propulsion est nominale.
Everything's normal, he says. The propulsion is normal. We broke the sound barrier at 48 seconds after launch and went into Mach 1. And we're only now getting the sound here at the Jupiter Control Center as she flies over. I can feel the ground shaking. Blazing a trail across the sky here at the Guiana Space Center.
Tous les paramètres à bord sont nominaux.
After the initial 13-second vertical climb, we rotated to the east and we're heading out over the Atlantic Ocean. We're burning 3 engines, but the boosters, those 2 big boosters, are doing all the work right now. They're providing 90% of our thrust. And if we get lucky, we might even see them falling away with the naked eye. The boosters are burning at 3,000 degrees Celsius. And the main stage that they're attached to is at virtually at absolute zero, so you can imagine the incredible complexities of the temperatures there, a feat of human engineering. And those boosters are falling away. We've had confirmation there. We can see them, the 2 dots, just through the clouds, falling back to Earth. They've burnt their propellant. We don't need them anymore. And we've lost about 3/4 of our mass in just over 2 minutes. So now we're burning the main stage. You can see it there, the grey structure, the big tank. A huge tank of cryogenic propellant. It's going to burn for about 9 minutes. And you can see at the front there, the fairing. On the right-hand side, you can see the image there. The fairing is the nose of the vehicle, protecting our satellites from the rigors of the launch, from the sound and the acoustic waves at launch. It's obviously very, very loud. And of course, friction. If you look at the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you can see we're 114 kilometers above the Earth. That means we're on the outer edge of the atmosphere. There's no friction anymore. We're on the edge of space, and we don't need the fairing. So it falls back down to Earth, and we can see Thor-7, our first satellite there. He said everything's going according to plan. We can see Thor-7 at the front for the very first time, and the 2 grey rectangles are the solar panels. Behind it, we can't see it now because it's hidden under the cylinder, is Sicral-2. We're powering across the Atlantic using the Vulcan engine. It's very powerful. It burns 320 kilograms of propellant a second. That's about 500 times more than a jet engine. The computer-generated images that we're looking at are showing us what the experts have planned and calculated is happening to the launcher. He says, tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux. All the parameters on board are normal. We're seeing there the tracking station at Galileo. That's the tracking station at the Guiana Space Center. And the computer-generated images are what's actually happening in space. Basically, the teams plan a very precise schedule of events based on extremely accurate predictions. And they put all of that information into the computer, and these images are a simulation of those predictions. We took off 5 minutes and 23 seconds ago. As I was mentioning, these computer-generated images are really showing us pretty well what's happening, exactly what we're expecting to be happening. And there we go, another replay there of our superb launch. The folk in mission control. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see our altitude there on the left-hand side. We are 163 kilometers above the Earth. In the middle, you can see the distance. That's the distance from the pad if you were to draw a line across the ground. And on the bottom right-hand side is our speed. At the moment, we are traveling at 4.29 kilometers per second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, boys and girls, let me remind you that's per second, not per hour. So we are traveling at phenomenal speeds. And we're heading out across the Atlantic. He says we've got 2 minutes left of propulsion on the main stage. Our flight path takes us along the equator towards Africa. And we'll start separating the satellites just over the east coast of Africa. Picking up speed all the time here. You can see the trajectory on the top right-hand side of the screen. The curve is the predicted trajectory of the vehicle, and the dot is the actual position of the launcher. And we're tracking our launcher using ground stations as she flies over. It's called telemetry. They've got great big dishes, a bit like ears. They're listening out for the launcher. And Ariane sends data to those ground stations, which tells us how the flight is progressing in real time. And later we can see how the vehicle performed in a process which is called the Level 0 flight evaluation. And you can see there we're picking up the signal there at the next tracking station in Natal on the right, on the northeastern coast there. In Brazil, he has just given us the confirmation there that we've picked up the signal. So we've travelled from Galileo, you can see as the tracking station there on the left, on the west, in the Guiana Space Center, and Natal in the northeastern coast of Brazil. Quite a lot of advantages for launching from the equator. It's the fastest route to geostationary orbit. And also, the natural rotation of the Earth gives us additional speed on the equator. So if you think about it, the launcher is actually already moving in the right direction, even when it's on the pad. Obviously, that's when we're launching to the east, of course.
Fin de propulsion de l'étage principal cryotechnique.
Main stage has cut off its engine. It's burnt all its propellant.
Séparation EPC.
And it's falling back down. There are images from a previous launch. We had cameras on board a previous launch. Look at that, superb. And you can see the curvature of the Earth and the main stage as it falls back down there. So we are now entering the next phase of the flight. The upper stage has taken the wheel, and its job is to deliver our satellites to their